Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Now, you may have noticed that there's been a lot of Doctor Who on TV, which is perfectly nice and perfectly understandable, but we may have missed a few other things. And one of the things that we've definitely missed are three things that I've been really enjoying myself, and they are 3 Doctor Who novels. It's the small paperback-sized but hardback format that BBC Books love so much. Now, we only got a handful of Matt Smith's stories through his entire run, but we're opening with the Capaldi Doctor and Clara in these 3 stories. Now, the Capaldi Doctor wasn't really on TV while these things were being written, so you could forgive the authors for being a little bit more open and not for capturing the Doctor's personality, shall we say. But they've done a pretty decent job, which adds to the argument that the Doctor is practically any Doctor. If there are any more novels written, I'm sure there'll be even more on the ball, on the nail. But they have caught Clara particularly well. The 3 books in question are The Blood Cell by James Goss, Silhouette by Justin Richards, and The Crawling Terror by Mike Tucker. Now, I like Mike Tucker's writing, all the way back to the Virgin novelette, all the way back to those lovely BBC post-Virgin books where he did a very nice Cyberman story. I've been a fan of the man who is the special effects guru and his take on Doctor Who and Doctor Who writing. But let's deal with these one at a time. I refer back, of course, to the press release. Blood Cell, an asteroid in the furthest reaches of space, the most secure prison for the most dangerous criminals. The governor is responsible for the cruelest murderers, so he's not impressed by the arrival of the man they are calling the most dangerous criminal in the quadrant. But when the new prisoner immediately sets out trying to escape and keeps trying, the governor sets out to find out why. Who is the Doctor and what is he really doing here? And who is the young woman who comes every day to visit him only to be turned away by the guards? When the killing finally starts, the governor begins to get his answers. Now, James Goss has written 3 Torchwood books, a Doctor Who novel, 2 radio plays, as well as a Being Human book. This guy knows what he's doing. And he's produced some pretty storming work. This guy knows Doctor Who in and out, but then again, all 3 authors do. A great read, nicely paced, nicely structured, and well worth looking at. The second of the 3, Silhouette by Justin Richards, is the one that will either jump off the shelves or be completely ignored by people, and the reason is that it has the Paternoster gang in it. Now, the old school Doctor Who fans have a love-hate relationship with the Sontaran, the Silurian, and her wife. Some people absolutely think they are superb, others think that they are a waste of a perfectly good race of villains. The Sontarans are warlike, they are powerful. This person is a 5-year-old babbling fool. Well, take somebody's guns off someone, and they often are. I like Strax, I always have, and I'm desperately looking forward to the actor's appearance without makeup in the Christmas special, playing an elf. But that's the actors, that's real life. This is a novel, yet another Victorian novel with the Doctor, Clara, and a gang. It works so well. This is from the release. Vastra and Strax and Jenny. Oh no, we don't need to bother any of them. Trust me. Marlowe Hepworth is found dead in his locked study, killed by an unknown assailant. This is a case for the great detective Madame Vastra. Rick Bellamy, bare-knuckle boxer, has the life drawn out of him by a figure dressed as an undertaker. This angers Strax, the Sontaran. The Carnival of Curiosities, a collection of bizarre and fascinating sideshows and performers. This is where Jenny Flynn looks for answers. How are these things connected? And what does Milton, rich industrialist, have to do with it all? As the Doctor and Clara join the hunt for the truth, they find themselves thrust into a world where nothing and no one is what they seem. We've known Justin Richards' work for a long time, and it's well worth having a look at this. So if you're a fan of the Paternoster Gang, this is the one to seek out. However, we come full circle and back to Mike Tucker for The Crawling Terror. This one's got a great cover, a cobweb-covered TARDIS, and some stills of the Capaldi Doctor doing that thing he did at the one and only press shoot. Stare at a camera, open your shirt, and look menacing. Clara's definitely all been photoshopped in the background of each and every one of these. And here's what the press release has to say about The Crawling Terror. Gabby Nichols is putting her son to bed when she hears her daughter cry out, "Mummy, there's a daddy longlegs in my room." Then the screaming starts. Kevin is on his way to school when he's attacked by a mosquito, a big one. Then things get dangerous. But it isn't the dead man cocooned inside the huge mass of webs that worries the Doctor. It's the swarming mutated insects that make him nervous. With the village cut off from the outside world and the insects becoming more and more dangerous, the Doctor knows that unless he can decode the strange symbols engraved on an ancient stone circle and unravel a mystery dating back to the Second World War, no one is safe. Mike Tucker's been publishing Doctor Who books for a long time, but he's also been doing some stuff for Merlin. And, admittedly, being a special effects guy, he gets my vote every time. I'm particularly enjoying The Crawling Terror, and it has some of the biggest insects ever seen in Doctor Who, which is much easier to pull off in a book. So those are 3 things you may have missed, and with that I'll fade away and come back very soon and talk about Doctor Who. So until next time, be seeing you. You've been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast, available on RSS, iTunes, Stitcher, Audio Boom and Tumblr. Doctor Who and its associated works are copyright of the BBC. No infringement is intended. You can contact the show, donate, buy merchandise or find out more about my other projects by visiting the Tin Dog Podcast homepage and clicking on the links. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.